Day 19. Alright, first things first, I'm the realist. I'm gonna open this room over here. And if it's the nuclear shelter, that is the best news. But I do love the classrooms. We are going to keep doing the nuclear shelter until we get this time lock safe open. Although if it doesn't open this time, I think I give up on it for now. All right. 7 plus 19 minus 1. I think it's 25. 10 a.m. We'll be back door. I think I hear my daughter awake. There's a very daughter-like sneeze coming from the other room. I can get the car keys again. You know what? That's a good thing to have early. Morning, daughter. It's gonna be time for school very soon. I would like you to get ready. You can make your own breakfast if you want. Yeah. Says. See, now I regret not putting the sledgehammer in there. It'll be fine. Alright. Back to the entrance. Give me a closet, how about? Each time I collect 3, get extra money. We've been doing good with money lately. I need you to be a corridor. I'm too used to the metal detector. Forget I don't have it. Sure, why not? Get a bedroom. In the library. We can do it. We can read the last book. The detective checked this book out twice. Mary Jones. So, Mary Jones, she wrote the book, Swinbird. She's my mom. She did some stuff. She disappeared shortly after this. Detective Bon Margle checked out both Swinbird and this book, apparently twice. I'll check the dates on that. He might have checked this out, checked out Swinbird, and then checked this out again. Book was reviewed and cleared for publication by Fenn Harry's Central Board of Education. This has been edited to conform to our department's standards, including the omission of sections deemed inaccurate or unsuitable for public dissemination. I see. Oh my goodness. Forward. The name used to designate the realms of the Eastern Waters is no longer known to the average citizen. E, of the elder generation, we must Permit our leaders to enjoin us to abandon our past. Chapter 1, Agera. Most historians mark the beginning of the first era, often denoted as Agera, by the ascension of the first king, whose name, Horus, would later grace the burgeoning township in which he was crowned. Horus was known before his coronation as a prominent merchant lord of considerable means and affluence whose sway in the religion made him the ideal candidate for the unification of the surrounding provinces. Regrettably, history is not always forthcoming, and the surviving records, those bygone days, are mostly limited to trade agreements and sales receipts. Nevertheless, we can deduce from these ledgers that Horus had but one aim: expansion. These territories spread forth from the heart of Horus, and by the end of the 1st century, a new kingdom was born. You make yourself breakfast? Got toaster strudels and waffles? Okay. Make 2 for your brother as well. Okay? The second era. It was the 4th king who split the vast domain into 3 equal shares, 3 realms for his 3 children. The eldest, he granted the fields and mountains of his great-grandfather. The middle province and heartspring of the kingdom, the eldest accepted the gift. The youngest, he bestowed upon him the realm of Arch Ares, the land of the northern storms, a wild and untamed expanse, which at the time was not as developed, but a good deal more vast than the eldest brother's lot. And to his middle child, his daughter, he gifted her the southern region, Araja, and land steeped in tradition. Oh, accidentally clicked off of it. Yeah. Third era. As the second era drew to a close, the 3 sovereign realms had achieved a period of remarkable progress and prosperity. Each of these distinct regions, ruled by their respective sibling monarchs, had blossomed, cultivating the bountiful resources of their lands, and developed a unique character and culture that set them apart from one another. Despite those differences, the sibling monarchs managed to maintain friendly relations throughout their lives, and were known for their cooperation in matters of trade and transportation. The succeeding generations of their heirs continued that tradition, and the third era was defined by commerce between the 3 realms, further strengthening their bond and laying the foundation for the promise of a prosperous and bright future. I know these regions. Okay.
Thanks, Brandon.
Thank you for following, Annabelle Zia. Hang on. Should be taking some screenshots of these. Oops. Baron Sinclair, thank you so much for your cooperation with our department in this investigation. We know your presence is never convenient, especially for someone of your social status. So it means all the more that you are not only tolerant, but also willing to aid our efforts in getting this business done as quickly as possible. Hey, how am I doing? I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing? We are returning with this letter, the book lent to us, though we must confess it was not as much help as I had hoped. I had heard that your library of rare and restricted books was quite extensive, and I was told by a reliable source that if a first edition and uncensored copy of the History of Arindia could be found, it would likely be found within the Baron's own collection, but perhaps I was misinformed. Still, part of me was thinking that you may have given me the censored copy as a jest, a taste, if you will, for the bureaucrat of their own medicine. If that is the case, then I say, well done, fair play, and perhaps on my next visit, we'll have a laugh about this after you've given me the actual manuscript. Until then, Detective Bon Margle, Redguard. Okay. Can we get this letter off of me? Come on, man. No. No. Okay. Whew. Thought I broke the book for a second. You're doing great. Thanks for happening. How's the stream going? The stream is going great. We've learned a lot today. Been a good day for the puzzles. Okay. The fourth era. As the kingdom entered the fourth era, a different kind of ruler took the reins. King Desolates III was a king, often was seen drinking. Yeah, that's my alarm telling me I gotta take the kids to school. But we're gonna finish the day. King was often seen drinking, a sight that shocked not only the gentry and the court, but the masses as well. Desolates was renowned as the king of blank. No one, when he made the decision to move, to moving the castle and court behind, the people were overjoyed by the choice and were those that viewed the king's conduct to be unbecoming of his common folk. These voices planted the seed which took root in the grand city of Fen. That was heavily censored. After the passing of King Desolates III, the fourth era came to an abrupt end. Thankfully, the king died. On the very next day, the 6th of October, the Prince Learson of Fen declared himself the true monarch. This declaration was bolstered by a number of supporters due to the fact that Desolates shared little of his virtues. As the prospect of civil war seemed inevitable, the realm's regiments were hastily recalled from the frontiers to stamp out and put an end to the Fensurrection. However, instead of restoring order, what ensued was a savage and merciless campaign against their own people. The gardens of Fen, once a center of splendor, were transformed into a battlefield. The cries of the innocents echoed through the city streets stained in red. Oof, brutal. You don't mind, can you ask me one thing? Yeah, go ahead. Ask me anything. Come on. This book seems to be a little buggy. The brutality of the pacification of Fen did not go unnoticed by neighbors. As sympathy for the city surged, allies came forward to lend support. Among them was the general of the Northern Regiment, who, sickened by the barbaric actions, the other battalions joined forces with the Prince Learson and formed a formidable army. Together, they leveraged their political influence and favors to persuade the nearby realms of Arch, Ares, and Nuance to join their cause. However, even with the tide turning in their favor, victory did not come easy. The War of the Fifth Era lasted 22 long years and saw him buried one in every 3 men. Prince Learson himself added a number to the casualties. However, even in death, he had won. Oris had fallen, and with it the realm. The black flags had flown for 5 eras, were burned, and in their place, red banners were hoisted in honor of the fallen of Fen. Few remaining members of the former royal family fled in fear of their lives to the south, forever exiled. Actually, you're a modular and rigger and created all sorts of Twitch stuff like logo, banner, overlays, and emotes. So I can share some of your recent creations with you if you're interested. No, thank you. I track down all my artists manually, like usually through a trusted third-party website. There's just too many scammers on Twitch, and so like just interacting with me once on Twitch is not enough. It's just not safe. So I appreciate where you're headed with this. I do not have interest, but thank you. Okay, so the current era. Today, the realms inherited by the 3 Ben Ares, Arch Ares, and Araja once again stand united as allies, though the distance between our peoples has grown. Our connection to this land remains strong as ever. The spruce and birch that span across our realms serve as a constant reminder that that we all share a common past. For this, despite everything else, a land rich in history, a land of myth and wonder, a land that sprung forth the greatest empire the world has ever seen, the land of our fathers, of our mothers, and of our children. Neat. Okay. So, this book was written by Caleb Manning, but it was heavily censored. I know Caleb acted obsessed with red, which I kind of associated with like evil and like strict monarch or political leanings, which makes me wonder. Now let's go ahead and unlock this. Give me stuff. Ooh, lockpicks. What a thing to keep in a locked chest. Pantry? Give me the orange. Money. Oof. This one's kind of rough. I'm going to go with a parlor. Because as nice as keys are, gems are better. Give me more options. The gems are not in the white box or the blue box. The gems are in both the blue box and the black box. This is a lie. The gems are in both the black box and the white box. So these have to be lies because the gems are always in exactly one. And so if those are lies, then this is the truth, which means the gems are right here. That's right, kitty. All right. Patios are nice. I think I want a patio. The gem. Is there anything I can do with the grill? Ooh, a shovel. And before I shovel, let me check. At rank 4, we have rich soil. We're at 3. So this is good soil, but it's not rich. Hey, we got a turnip. Got 2 turnips. We got all the steps in the world. But we have the problem of not being able to go any further. Any other chess pieces? So we got the pawn in here. Pawn in the den. Got all the steps in the world, so I can just go ahead and straight up waste them. No chess pieces in here. No chess pieces in here. No, there's a pawn in here. Pawn in the bedroom. So here's what I'm going to do. As an experiment, we are going to run over, activate the elevator, go down into the arcade where we will arrange the chess pieces. We're just going to take the pawn and put it on the board where one of those rooms are. I think I'm going to go with the den if I have a choice. We're going to see if that straight up does anything or not. while we're looking over the cliffside, we can look down into the valley, and if we see Reddington, then we know we are on the north side of the mountain. But I'm still fairly confident we are not. Oof. There is something interesting about the ponds we've been seeing, though. They've been golden. And I don't remember if they've always been golden, because I don't think they were. Which makes me feel like we've just been coincidentally placing the rooms on places where the pond is. Let's see, there's all this. Okay, so the ponds disappear when I do stuff. So I'm going to drop the pond there. Oh. So if I get like the Rook Nook, the observatory, and the chapel in here, we could get all four of these, except we'd be missing the king and the queen. So I need to find what rooms have the king and queen. Is that Reddington down there? I don't think so. We're on the south side of the mountain. What if Reddington is just straight up gone? Would that be a thing? So many questions. Alright, we need to go back to the orchard, turn the smudge pots back on to guarantee we get the 2 steps a day. Or the 20 steps a day. Although I am very curious. Like, it's what the note said. But what if the apples didn't disappear? Like, you would think unpowering the smudge pots would take a long time for the apples to, like, die. I don't know. How quickly do apples die in the frost? I've never been much of an orchard owner. Probably, like, immediately. Anyway. We won't worry about that too much. We're going to go to the den and we're going to see the pawn room to see if something big happened. Which I kind of doubt, but still worth checking. Alright, hello, pawn. Don't do anything. Clock's still working. Fireplace is still going. Okay. So as cool as that is, it doesn't do anything yet. So what we should do is find all the rooms with chess pieces and make a house with all of them, and then go run outside, put all the chess pieces where they belong and see if that doesn't just blow up the world. Yes, dear? I think I pull on the golden pawn. I can't. There's no hand icon on. But thank you, dear. All right. That is all for our adventures today. Is anybody actually watching? My count is 0 right now, but sometimes that lies. If somebody is watching, stick around for a bit and we will find somebody to raid. If nobody's watching, well, I had a great time without you. Let's see, where can I see the number of viewers I have? Oh, I've got a number of viewers. Okay, let's find somebody to raid. Who is playing a game? Danagast is playing the Blueprints. We will raid him. He's got quite a big house going on. He seems to be much farther than me, so I'm going to leave immediately to avoid spoilers. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.